It's only been 2 days since its public release, and Todd Phillips' Joker is already breaking records. Highest opening night in October, and set to knock off Venom as highest grossing October release. Yet with all that success out of the gate, with the quintessential villain of the Caped Crusader, it's been marred with controversy. Thanks to the Aurora shooting at a Dark Knight Rises screening, Batman adaptations will probably always carry a bit of dread for copycats, the Joker being no exception. But the reasonable concern feels altogether different than anything before. Critics are calling the movie irresponsible, saying it promotes violence, that it's an inspiration for angry white incels, that Todd Phillips' statement about leaving comedy is a spew of Trumpian talking points, and so on. It's altogether strange that a comic book movie could shock people into a panic while the eco-terrorism of Thanos was an accepted, sympathetic portrayal. The expert assassin, gun-toting white male John Wick received high praise in the third installment, and the date-rapey Hustlers is touted as empowering to women. Joker is perhaps more mesmerizing for the reception it's garnered than the film itself. Likely, in the future, it will be a key archaeological reference for new generations to understand what we currently define as the culture war in entertainment. This is my review for Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. Welcome to Black Angus Reviews. If you've made it this far, thank you. And no, this title isn't clickbait. Be warned, this is a spoiler review of sorts. Joker is a 2019 adaptation of the iconic and beloved clown prince of crime, the Joker. Roots for its creation go back as far as 2014, with Phoenix wanting to make a character study film. The film is rather simple to pitch, that being, we follow Arthur Fleck in 1981 Gotham, a clown and failed stand-up trying to navigate life while dealing with depression and mental illness, while also taking care of his mother. Through a chain of events accompanied by his skewed perception, Arthur falls further and further, descending into madness and rising from it, the Joker. The film opens with a very telling character scene, Arthur putting on his makeup, trying to smile through the tears, unable to despite his attempts. This sets the tone for the whole movie, a film that reflects the abandonment we can all relate to, that we've all felt at any given moment in today's hyper-aware culture, where any news is around the globe in a moment's notice thanks to the internet. The way one image or clip of a person can define society's perception of them or of the person themselves. The use of media and hearsay resembled shades of the Me Too and cancel culture we're plagued with today, where a person is written off without a chance to respond. We see this in three progressive moments. At the beginning, when Arthur loses the sign to a small gang of attackers, being told he has to recoup the loss without being heard out as to why he doesn't have it. We see it again when he drops his gun at a children's hospital. While carrying it was his own negligence, he's never allowed to clarify its origin, and is even thrown under the bus by others who have some part to play. Lastly, there's a brief moment where Arthur goes to Sophie's apartment to find comfort, having just found out that he's been adopted this whole time. Arthur says he's had a bad day, but with him trespassing, all she can think of is her and her child's safety, having only interacted once on the elevator. This brief moment to me encapsulated the dilemma of being a man in need of help, as we're intrinsically opposed to admitting we need it, and if we do, finally, does anyone really care? With seemingly nowhere else to turn, an angry Arthur proceeds to murder his adoptive mother. It's at this time that he seems to have a lasting change in character, reminiscent of Ledger's iconic "Now I'm always smiling" bit. Even here, Arthur isn't Joker yet, as when he thinks he's completely alone, coworkers come to comfort him. The one just has ulterior motives, and once realized, Arthur kills him, but lets the other go, showing there's still some good in him. Not even killing Murray Franklin, De Niro's character, sends him over. Only when he sees the effect he's impacted on the city and the warped sense of joy the writers seem to have does Arthur seemingly become Joker, a brilliant piece of character descent I haven't seen since Breaking Bad. Aside from the social commentary about mental illness and treatment, I think the film is reflective of a society that deems everything political, regardless if it is. I think this was a purposeful move by Phillips, commenting on modern times. Arthur kills 3 Wall Street yuppies, 2 in self-defense, but because of their stature in society, it's interpreted as an act of defiance against the 1%, and the clown becomes a symbol of this assumed revolution. Joaquin had a performance of a lifetime, devoting himself physically to the role as well as Jake Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler and Christian Bale's highly underrated Mechanist. Phoenix reportedly lost 50 pounds for the role. Aside from physicality, Phoenix's portrayal is quite comparable to Nightcrawler and the Mechanist, as well as Tobey Maguire's descent from trauma in Brothers. Most notably and directly referenced for inspiration, though, is Taxi Driver. A major problem I have with Joker is that it feels very much like our complaints with something like The Force Awakens, dancing the line of homage or mimicry. While Taxi Driver is about a man struggling with the masculine ideal, assuming a heroic role from a warped perspective, Joker does essentially a 180 inverse, navigating a downward spiral into madness and villainy. If you mimic a movie, only flipping the ending, is it really an original work of art? Having De Niro in the cast of a film just like Taxi Driver is a bit too on the nose for me as well, but maybe that's just me. I feel this otherwise art house film will do exceedingly well just for the name attached, and not for the merit it already has. While Phillips had freedom to write fairly loosely from the iterations of the character, he's still beholden to an 80-year-old character. I think that's the biggest problem in cinema today. We're out of stories to tell, and Joker is a sign of the best we'll get. Many will think that's fine and a high bar to hit, but to me it seems we've exhausted all creativity. The best we can hope for is to get a peculiar take on a corporately owned IP. I really do appreciate this film, but I'm not sucked in by the cultural debate regarding its significance. If there is any, it's in the fact it was a real film, meant to be a standalone one-shot, showing a real character simultaneously deconstructed and discovered, and saying something meaningful. The debate around this, the media fearmongering, targeting white males, and the response to that feels very reminiscent of the Alita Challenge earlier this year, a push to boost Alita Battle Angel in conjunction with boycotting Captain Marvel. While there is a clear skewing and critical response from the media, akin to Rambo 5 and other films of recent memory, I honestly agree with the Rotten Tomatoes score. While I highly recommend seeing this film in theaters and owning it on physical media, I give it a 7 out of 10. Just like the clown symbol in the film, I think people are missing the point of why it has importance. Overall, it was a beautiful film and performance hindered by obvious familiarity, overhyped beyond the brand recognition thanks to the tribalistic tug of war over its perceived purpose beyond art and entertainment. Let me know what you thought. Was my assessment apt, or do you completely hate it? Let me know by commenting below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and if you want to help support future creations, consider becoming a patron, heading to the merch store, or dropping a tip via STREAMLABS, all linked below. Check out the channels listed below as well, and join the chat for my live shows, Wednesdays and Fridays. Hey, want to follow me on Twitter? It's @AngusReviews. See you there.